Hey Saints, so this video I'm about to do right now is a little different than the usual videos I do. This video is actually a teaching that I learned from one of you Saints that wrote in to me. Okay, so before we go any further, I'd like you to take a mental note of this bracelet I have right here. It says Proverbs 27:17 on it, which is, as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. I got this from my pastor as a gift a little while back, a month or two ago. Okay, so the verse I just shared with you on the bracelet ties into this once we get a little bit further into this. So I was doing a teaching on John chapter 4, and the name of that video is called The True Believers. So basically what I was teaching was that Jesus was telling the woman at the well that there will come a time, and the time has now come, when the true worshipers of God will worship him in spirit and in truth. So in other words, not at this mountain or not in Jerusalem, not in any predetermined physical location, for the kingdom of heaven is within. Therefore, we are the temple of the Holy Spirit, so wherever we go, we can post up and have church. So a little while later, the disciples show back up at Jacob's well, where Jesus is talking with the Samaritan woman, and they urge Jesus to have something to eat. And this is when Jesus says to them, "I have food to eat that you know nothing about." I never thought much about that line, except for how it ties into what Jesus says after that. Jesus says in verse 34, "My food," said Jesus, "is to do the will of him who sent me and to finish his work." See, I always thought that the food that Jesus said he had, that the disciples knew nothing about, was the spiritual food of the will of the Father that Jesus fed upon. And that would be correct, but that would only be part of the revelation. Eric Bocarty, 2989. This saint wrote into me this morning, and this is what he said. I'm just going to close out with what he said. In those verses, speaking about John 4, there is a major key of understanding to grow closer to God. When the apostles come back, Jesus tells them, "I have meat or food that you know not of." Then he goes on to say, when we start our walk, we need to be weaned with water and milk as a newborn, this being the basics of the Word. The meat is the deeper revelations of God found within the Bible. However, Jesus was meaning the sharing of these truths which have the effect of sanctification. He had just finished sharing deep secrets with the Samaritan woman that even the Pharisees did not know of. As Proverbs 11 verse 25 saith, "He that watereth shall be watered." The word compares us to trees or a mustard seed. When you water a plant, it grows. The poetic side to this is that God uses his love, which is within us through proximity with him, to build us up by sharpening one another as iron sharpens iron. Christ is